It's so loud in here.
Oh, man, this is awesome.
That power. Oh, my goodness. What a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount+.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
It's time for your HQ headlines. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow expected to make his return on Thursday night against the Ravens. He's missed Cincinnati's past 9 games after undergoing surgery for turf toe injury in September. The Bengals have gone just 1-8 in his absence. Unfortunately for Cincinnati, they'll be without T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson on Thanksgiving in Baltimore. And the Browns will start Shador Sanders once again on Sunday against the 49ers. The 5th-round pick won his first career start against the Raiders, throwing for 209 yards, a touchdown, and a pick in Las Vegas. Dylan Gabriel, who went 1-5 as the team's starter, has cleared concussion protocol. Despite being given a clean bill of health, he's been relegated to QB2 for this weekend's game against San Francisco. And Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy is currently in concussion protocol. He suffered that injury during Sunday's loss to the Packers and reported symptoms to the training staff on the flight home from Green Bay. McCarthy threw for just 87 yards in that contest, along with no touchdowns and 2 picks. If McCarthy is unable to give it a go on Sunday in Seattle, Max Brosmer expected to get the start. And Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield has been diagnosed with a low-grade sprain of the AC joint in his left shoulder. That's according to NFL Network. He suffered that injury to his non-throwing shoulder during Sunday night's loss to the Rams. If Mayfield is unable to return for Sunday's game against the Cardinals, it'll be Teddy Bridgewater under center for Tampa Bay. And Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups pleaded not guilty in federal court today to charges of wire fraud conspiracy and money laundering. Those charges could carry a penalty of up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Billups is accused of being part of a rigged poker game with ties to organized crime figures. Bail was set at $5 million. And in baseball news, the Rockies are removing Warren Schaefer's interim title and making him full-time manager for the 2026 season. The former third base and infield coach took over for Bud Black in May after he was fired following a 7-33 start to the season. Schaefer finished the year with a 36-86 record as interim manager. Thanks for starting your week with us here on Primetime Pregame. I'm Claudia Bellafato with you for the next hour, breaking down all the action in the NBA and college hoops, plus a whole lot of football. Week 12 wraps up in San Francisco. Bryce Young and the Panthers looking to play spoiler in Brock Purdy's second start back from injury. What should we expect? Well, let's bring in John Breach to break it all down for us. John, starting with Carolina, before the season started, not many people had them with a fighting chance to win the NFC South, yet here we are. They're tied with the Bucs for the lead. What identity have they created for themselves, and how big of a threat are they really to win this division?
Well, they are technically in first place in the division right now as we head into the kickoff of this game. So I do think they are absolutely a threat, especially when you look at a Buccaneers team that could be missing Baker Mayfield for a week or two. So if the Panthers can win tonight, now they're in first place heading into week 13. And as you said, I don't think anyone would have thought that was possible in August unless maybe you lived in Charlotte and you are a hardcore Panthers fan. But really what this team has been able to do, what their identity is they're kind of old school. If they can run the ball and they can play defense, they can beat you. And you look what the Panthers have been good at this season. When they've rushed the ball for at least 125 yards in a game, they're 4-1. So that's been kind of their magic number. And it's been a number they've been able to hit because they have a pretty strong 1-2 punch. We know about Chuba Hubbard. He was kind of the guy who emerged last year. They gave him a contract extension, got a little banged up earlier this season, and then Rico Dowdle flew onto the scene and has just been really unstoppable. Had a couple huge games over the past 6 weeks. And so when that running attack gets going, it really takes a lot of pressure off of Bryce Young. And really what we've seen from Young is that he's not maybe capable of carrying the offense by himself, but when he has support, he can thrive. And we saw that last week against the Falcons when he threw for 448 yards. Young had never even thrown for 320 yards in his career. He goes out and throws for 448. So if Bryce Young keeps playing like that, if he's getting support from other parts of his offense, you got Tet McMillan, his favorite receiver out there, then the Panthers can win games. And this team has been very good at pulling off upsets this year. They've won 6 games as an underdog. So they are an underdog tonight, but there's no reason they can't win because that is a position and a spot they thrive in.
Consistency is the first thing that comes to mind, especially when you talk about Bryce Young putting up numbers like that. Can we expect it in back-to-back games? Maybe not, but like you said, they've been consistent with their backs up against the wall as an underdog, winning and certainly covering those games, which makes a lot of people think Dave Canales could be certainly Coach of the Year. Let's talk about the coaches here. Both of them offensive-minded, as we know with Kyle Shanahan, and that is clear with Dave Canales. Who do you give the edge, though, when considering the defenses they're going up against tonight?
I'll give the edge to Kyle Shanahan just because he has a longer track record. I don't want to take anything away from Dave Canales because, as you said, if the Panthers win this division or even make to the playoffs, he becomes a very serious and viable candidate to win Coach of the Year. No one thought they would be over 500 at this point in the season, so Canales has absolutely worked wonders. You look at where this team was 2 years ago. They are coming off a 2-win season. He more than doubled that total last year, and now he has them as a playoff contender this year. But when you go back to Kyle Shanahan, this is a guy who has been to 4 NFC title games, 2 Super Bowls during his 8 seasons in San Francisco. So he has a very successful track record. Obviously, the offense is loaded. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. We all know Brock Purdy is now back and looking healthy. So when you look at the weapons that Kyle Shanahan has at his disposal, I do think he is going to do a better job of getting more out of his offense tonight than Canales will be able to get out of his offense against that 49ers defense.
And I'm sure Canales is just happy to be in that same conversation as Shanahan. Other than the coaching matchup, another matchup we should be keeping an eye on is Christian McCaffrey, who's doing it all for the Niners. Their leading rusher, their leading receiver. What do you see happening for him tonight?
Well, it's kind of mind-blowing that this is the first time Christian McCaffrey has faced his former team. Let's not forget he got traded from Carolina to San Francisco back in 2022. And somehow in the 3 years since then, these two teams have not met. So this isn't necessarily a revenge game because I think Christian McCaffrey is plenty happy where he is. But I do think he would love to make a statement in this game against his old team. And as you said, Claudia, you have Christian McCaffrey, who's not just a top rusher, but he is also one of Brock Purdy's favorite targets out here. And so the thing for the 49ers is just to make sure that Christian McCaffrey involved early and often. This team is 5-0 this year when McCaffrey gets at least 25 touches. So that could be his rushes and receptions combined. So you just keep feeding him. And when you give the ball to your top playmaker, good things tend to happen. So I do think this is a defense that McCaffrey can absolutely take advantage of. I do think the 49ers will feed him. So I'll be betting all the overs on the McCaffrey props because I think he's going to have a big night.
He's averaging 9 targets a game. Like, he is their leading receiver, but he's so dangerous out of the backfield. And he feels so far removed that I almost forgot this is his former squad, and it's wild it's been this long. It's the first time they're matching up. This is a Week 12 win that is certainly crucial for both squads here. Who do you think gets it done, John?
Yeah, the Panthers obviously would take over first place by themselves in the NFC South. If they win, then you have the 49ers who really need the win if they want to keep pace with the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West. So both of these teams absolutely need the win, but there is a reason the 49ers are favored by 7 points. On paper, they have a much more talented roster. I think Kyle Shanahan is a slightly better coach, and then you have the Panthers. They have to fly across the country and play in prime time. That is not an easy task. So I actually think the 49ers roll and win by double digits and win this game comfortably.
And Brock Purdy didn't seem to have any rust on him in that last game. John Breach, we appreciate you. Week 13 kicks off on Thanksgiving Day with a triple header. Don't miss Dak Prescott and the Cowboys hosting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs only on CBS. Up next, top props for Monday Night Football. Can that guy get it done tonight? We'll find out. He probably can. He does every night.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission.
We don't.
Thank you. That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount+.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric.
Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here.
Oh, man, this is awesome.
The power. Oh, my goodness. What a performance.
Wouldn't take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season now streaming on Paramount+.
You can't count on Derek's taunt
Oh,
skills,
Tony, I think it hit the ground.
but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Taking a look at some notable Monday Night Football props. Bryce Young coming off that record-breaking near 450-yard passing game against the Falcons. CMC leading his squad in both rushing, receiving. T-Mac, a popular one. And George Kittle looking for another big week. With that, we welcome in our friends Alice Salesnick, Mike McClure to break it all down. Favorite props on the board. Let's start with the top passing prop. Bryce Young coming off that huge game. Brock Purdy threw for 203 touchdowns in his first game back. Michael, come to you first. Where do you see the edge today?
I like fading Bryce Young on the attempts. I liked it under 33.5, down to 32.5. I still like it. Ultimately, I think baselines for Bryce Young should be low 30s, around that 30 to 31 number. When you look at this particular number in general, like, yes, he went massively over it in the last game where he threw for 400 plus yards, but the baseline average game he has not. And now they're coming on the road across country against a 49ers team that I think is a little underrated defensively. I know they've had a few poor weeks. I think getting that offense, though, back to full strength is going to help keep that defense on the sidelines, keep Bryce Young a little bit on the sidelines here. So I thought the number should have been 31.5 tonight. Still room to go under 32.5.
Mike and I are on the same page here, and while I have been called a Bryce Young truther before, I'm going to fade the mercurial quarterback, going under on his yards, however, 206 right now. While I do believe that Bryce Young could become an adequate starter in the NFL, this number is somewhat inflated because of last week's performance where he went for 450. Looking at this matchup, on paper seems very soft. However, with Bryce Young at this stage of his career, the key to stopping Bryce Young is to take away his first read. And that's what I believe in Robert Saleh and this 49ers defense. While they've been torched by receivers, I think they can slow down Tet McMillan. And then you take away Bryce's first read, and he really struggles to go through his progression. So while in a sense it is a good matchup, I think the 49ers and Robert Saleh are smart enough to scheme around that. I think Bryce Young's going to struggle tonight on the road against maybe a slightly underrated, as Mike mentioned, 49ers defense.
All right, we're starting out fading Bryce Young on both sides. How about rushing? Alex, I'll come to you first. We know CMC dominates the backfield for San Fran. For the Panthers, Rico Dowdle has taken over that RB1 role, but in this spot, you're actually both fading him, I should say. So, Alex, tell me why.
Yeah, 18.5 rushing attempts. It's just a ginormous number for Rico Dowdle. To his credit, he's played phenomenal football this year. Really unexpected after being acquired, coming into a backfield where there was already an established starter as well. Dowdle's really played tremendous football, and as we see on this graphic, you can look at all those rushing attempts line, but at 18.5, just to me, that number requires some really positive game script. I think in order to eclipse this, the Panthers are going to need to be leading in this game, or at least within striking distance for the vast majority. I think this game is a huge mismatch. I think San Francisco could potentially rout Carolina and are likely to be up by double digits through the majority of this game. I just don't think the volume's going to be there for Rico Dowdle, so I'm going to go under on what I think is a very, very tall order.
And I'm going to be under on the yards. So the volume not being there, certainly music to my ears. But the fact to me is he had two really explosive games, but those games came against the Miami Dolphins at home and the Dallas Cowboys at home, at a time when the Dallas Cowboys were absolutely beat up defensively. You look at every other spot here, the few games before that when it was a timeshare, averaging around 3 yards a carry. The last 2 weeks, back down under 3 yards per carry. This is a very interesting spot. Like, could he get there through volume if it's a lower scoring game like we saw at Green Bay where he got 25 touches in the backfield? Yeah, probably could find a way to manage to get there. But for me, I think he's going to have 16, 17 carries in this game. I don't think the efficiency is going to be there, so I'm going to go under on the rushing yards at 76.5.
All right, lots of unders so far. I believe we have one over here with Christian McCaffrey and Mike McClure. You're a sharp guy, but I would call you crazy if you went under this number. That just feels way too low for CMC on receiving.
You know, I love going under on running back receiving lines. However, Christian McCaffrey, not exactly a running back. He is his own category. He is his own position. I like the spot for CMC. So you talk about this Carolina defense. We haven't talked about it enough about how beat up they are, particularly in the linebacking core. That is the area that I think they're going to struggle containing him. It's going to be in that passing game. I think he's got at least one big play in him. So if you want to look at that longest reception over, I like that market as well. Not exactly a revenge game. Yes, the first time he's played the Panthers, more of a thank you than anything for letting him leave town. I think this is a spot where we have a big night from CMC, but I think most of it comes in the receiving yardage.
And I'm going to look to Panthers rookie stud Tet McMillan. I'm going to go under on his receiving yards, guys. I've been extremely impressed with Tet McMillan, but this is a byproduct of a couple of things. One, he's facing a 49ers defense, yes, has been very generous to wide receivers, but it's just Tet and a bunch of Jags, just other guys here on this team. When you take away Bryce Mitchell's first read, he really, really struggles. I don't think this is a secret secret either. And I certainly believe that Robert Saleh and company know, and that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and scheme Tet out of this, provide bracket coverage, double team him, because there really hasn't been outside of the game against the Falcons last week a complementary or secondary or tertiary option that's really stepped up for this Panthers offense. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for Tet. This number's somewhat inflated as a result of the massive performance against the Falcons last week. So again, against a smart defense like San Francisco, while they may not have been performing well, I think they can slow down Bryce Young and company. I think both Tet and Bryce struggle tonight.
Unders across the board for Alex. All right, let's finish out with a anytime touchdown prop. Where are you looking, Proppy?
Let's go George Kittle. I mean, this guy is just exceptional with Brock Purdy under center. 3 touchdowns the last 2 games. Really has a knack just getting open, finding the soft spots in a zone. Also, Mike talked about the injuries to the linebacking core and C-Mac taking advantage. Well, George Kittle is certainly going to take advantage. He's just a matchup nightmare for any linebacker to cover. Also, Carolina, even at full strength, has been extremely generous to opposing tight ends. I think that chemistry we've seen between Purdy and Kittle will be on full display tonight. I like him to score a touchdown.
I like Kittle, and I like Jawan Jennings. Plus 180, the price point, implying around 35%. I really think this number should be closer to 40% at a plus 150 price point. You look at Jawan Jennings, he held things down nicely, being wide receiver 1 while the team battled back to health. But I still expect that to be true here. Yes, there are a ton of mouths to feed now that the offense is healthy. They always have to worry about Christian McCaffrey in the red zone. Jawan Jennings is the guy that I think still gets overlooked a little bit. I think he's still very underrated as a wide receiver in the NFL. Like him at this number, plus 180.
Well, the defenses are so focused on everybody else, so that's a good case scenario for Jawan Jennings. I put together a little parlay here, and it sounds like I'm assuming you'll both like this because I know that, Mike, you're big on CMC. So I'm going to go with the combo, 100-plus scrimmage yards. That's obviously juiced, but he's averaging over 66 receiving yards. We know what he does on the ground. We just saw Bijan Robinson put up 143 on this Panthers squad in a similar role. So that's the first leg. George Kittle, 4 more catches. He has just been the model of consistency. He's got all of his last 19 targets over the last 3 weeks, I should say, and he's cashed this in all but 1 of his 6 games, and then anytime touchdown because of everything that Alex just talked about. And despite his lack of games, he's tied with CMC for the team lead in receiving tutties. So not a crazy payout, but I'm teasing these numbers down a bit. Any thoughts, fellas?
Like it, Claudia.
Like
and after going 7-0
Bryce Young over on attempts. They're both going to fade Bryce Young in different ways. Alex going to go with the passing yards. Mike likes CMC over the receiving, and Jennings anytime touchdown. T-Mac and George Kittle action for Alex. Up next, we hit the hardwood for NBA and college hoops. Back here on Primetime Pregame after this.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything?
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit. Thank you. That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League. Every picture tells a story, and every great story
would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here.
Oh man, this is awesome.
The power. Oh my goodness. What a performance.
Wouldn't take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
It's time to hit the hardwood. Plenty of action, both in college hoops and the NBA. Nuggets laying 8 on the road at the Grizzlies without John Morant. Oregon, Auburn, Rockets, Suns, Gonzaga, Bama, Michigan, San Diego State. College hoops is back, baby, and so is the NBA. And with that, we'll welcome in our good friend Zach Simony, Larry Hartstein. Let's start in the NBA. The Nuggets laying that 8.5, I should say, on the road against the Grizzlies. Memphis without John Morant. Jaren Jackson Jr. also banged up. That's your top two scorers on an offense that's already not producing a lot of points, yet you both like the points with the Grizzlies. Larry, I'll come to you first. Tell us why.
Well, Zach Edey came back 4 games ago after off-season ankle surgery, and it's a totally new team. They've covered 3 out of 4. They almost covered all 4 of those. They've won 2 in a row. He's helping on the boards. He's obviously helping defensively. And this is a Nuggets team that still's without Aaron Gordon, that's still without Christian Brown. This is just a big number. They just gave up a massive amount of points to Sacramento of all teams. So I'm going to stick with the Grizzlies, who have a nice vibe going on without John Morant. And with Zach Edey in the lineup, take all those points.
Yeah, I agree to the same sentiments that Larry just said. Give me the Memphis Grizzlies +8. They've been performing well without John Morant in the lineup. Consecutive wins for the first time this season. And when you look at Denver, it's more about their name right now. This spread has not been adjusted with the injuries that they have. Aaron Gordon out for 4 to 6 weeks. They just lost to the Sacramento Kings that had lost 8 games in a row. They're just 2-2 over their last 4 games. And when I look at the bench production, they're just not getting enough. Had 20 bench points in that loss to Sacramento. New starter Spencer Jones, just 1 point in that game. And this is their 3rd game in 4 nights. Let's get the Grizzlies here plus the 8 points at home.
I look at the 2 losses for the Grizzlies, the possible 2 losses, and just think under, because they're hitting the under on their team total at the 2nd highest rate in the NBA. This Denver team, despite the injuries, they still have the defense. We just saw them keep the Rockets to 109 points. That's one of the better offenses. So that was one angle I was taking. But I see what you guys were saying, talking about the dog there. Let's look at Phoenix. The Suns hosting the Houston Rockets, aforementioned. It was supposed to be a Kevin Durant revenge game, but it's not going to be because he's out with a family matter. So despite having the rest advantage, the Suns on the second leg of a back-to-back, the Rockets are down their leading scorer. So how do you bet this one, Zach?
I actually do like the Houston Rockets as well, -6.5. Put that on the site. But let's go with Dillon Brooks, under 19.5 points on the Phoenix Suns. He's having a breakthrough year in terms of scoring, where he's averaging 21 points per game. The prior 3 seasons, he had never averaged more than 14 points. But I watched some of that game last night against the San Antonio Spurs. He got a little shot happy, took 24 shots. That's his 2nd most attempts on the season. Actually went 2 of 9 in the first quarter. And this will be the first time that he will face his old team in the Houston Rockets since he was traded in the offseason. We know he's a player that doesn't keep his emotions in check, so I don't think it's going to take much for his old teammates to rile him up. Also in that back-to-back spot, as you mentioned, I think he goes under his points prop tonight, under 19.5 points.
Well, I like the Suns to keep it close. They're 9-1 against the number at home. One of the surprise teams in the league. Nobody expected them to be 5 games over 500 right now, but Devin Booker is doing it all, and the other guys are playing their roles. I just think they have a good vibe this year, and it is a revenge game, like you said, for Dylan Brooks, for Jalen Green, and the Rockets without their top scorer. I think the Suns at home, where they've been a machine, can keep it close.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Larry. And Steven Adams, their big man, questionable. This Sun squad on a 3-game win streak. They've won 8 of their last 10. You talked about their cover rate at home. So 6.5 just feels like too many points. I'm with you. I'm going to take it. Now, between these 2 games, Larry, is there one you're feeling stronger about?
I like the Grizzlies. It's not just, Zach Edey being back. Vince Williams Jr. is playing well. Santi Aldama's playing well. They're getting contributions from everyone. And I think they're enjoying proving how good they can be without Ja Morant.
And I agree with Larry as well. The Grizzlies, they play a 2-unit basketball lineup. So you're not going to see many players play over 30 minutes. I think that's going to be an advantage against this Denver Nuggets team that they just looked depleted against the Sacramento Kings. They had a double-digit lead in the third quarter, somehow blew that, allowed Russell Westbrook to score 15 points in the fourth quarter. So I think that depth is going to be an issue for the Nuggets, especially on the road. I like Memphis plus the 8.
And again, the 6.5 feels like too much. We know NBA players are all petty. KD is the most petty because he creates Twitter accounts to, crap on people. But we know that NBA players are petty, and the Suns are going to come out strong with KD watching, as we know, eating popcorn on the couch. Let's shift gears to college hoops. We'll start with 8th-ranked Bama visiting Gonzaga. Bama already has faced 3 top 10 teams. They went 2-1 in those matchups. Gonzaga coming in with a clean 5-0 record, but the competition not quite the same there. You guys are going heads up on this one. Zach, you go first.
Claudia, I actually liked Alabama initially here, but the more I thought about it, I was swayed to take Gonzaga minus the 4.5. Alabama, I'm not impressed with their shot selection. I think that could cause them issues in this game. I know they're coming off a big win against the Illini, but that had more to do with Illinois struggling with a drought to start the second half. And when it comes to Gonzaga, they have one of the oldest teams in college basketball. They bring a bully element to the table with their interior game with Braden Huff and Graham Ike. And I think this Zags team is going to be motivated. This is an area they struggled last season in non-conference tournament games. They went just 2-4. And then when you look at Alabama's guards, they actually have intel on Houston Millett, who began his collegiate career, his first 3 years at Pepperdine in the WCC. So Mark Few and company, they're going to have the scouting report on slowing him down. I like the Zags here with that experience factor minus the 4.5.
Well, you should have stuck with your first instinct, Zach, because that was the right instinct. When you look at the schedules, Gonzaga, they've beaten Creighton, Oklahoma, Arizona State, power teams, but nobody on the level of the 3 teams that this Alabama team has already played, beat 2 of them, and then took Purdue down to the wire. For me, this comes down to LeBaron Philon and just the way that he's playing, over 20 points a game, 6 assists, shooting a very high percentage, and just controlling everything. So dynamic, so fun to watch. I think it's be an up and down, entertaining game. I have to take the points with the Tide.
Larry's like, your first thought was the right thought, Zach. Larry, I'll come to you for this one. 7th-ranked Michigan hosting San Diego State. Michigan 4-0 in the young season. San Diego State just 2-1. You guys are going opposite again here, but this time we're talking about the total, Larry.
Yeah, you have 2 top 20 defenses squaring off. It's a very late start for Michigan, 10:30 Eastern, out in Vegas. And the key for me is the way San Diego State, they play such a slow pace, and they just got back Magoon Guath, the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, 7-footer, clogs up the middle. So he came back. He already made an impact in the first game, and I just think this is a game that San Diego State is going to control the pace more than Michigan. Obviously, they're much closer to home, and I'm going to play this one under the total.
And I went the other way, as you mentioned, Claudia, over 147.5. San Diego State, they're coming off one of the highest scoring games of the season in their last outing against Troy, where they won 108-107. And what I like about San Diego State is they have several program players that have been there. 3rd-year guard B.J. Davis, 4th-year player Miles Byrd, the big man that Larry just touched on as well. So they have that established chemistry coming into the season. I also look at this tournament being played in Las Vegas. That's not going to deter San Diego State being a part of the Mountain West. They play a road game in UNLV. They play the Mountain West tournament also in Las Vegas. So they're going to have strong fan support. When it comes to Michigan, the over is 3-1 on the season. And this is also part of the Players Era tournament. We know there's big money at stake, $1 million for the winning team. So I expect heightened play. And with that, you get fouls early, teams in the bonus. You certainly expect that foul factor to occur late in the game as well. So I'm expecting more free throws with what's at line in this game. Give me the over 147.5.
All right, like you said, 3-1 to the over Michigan is, despite being just outside that top 5 in defensive rating. And a 10:30 tip-off, I will not be watching this one. But let me ask you, of these two games we discussed, Zach, is there one you're feeling stronger about? And with it being this early in the season, with so many games on the college slate, how do you approach a game like this?
I will go with the total I just mentioned, in Michigan and San Diego State over 147.5. The tournament, the Players Era tournament, was played here last year, and I saw a lot of high-scoring games. I believe Oregon won that tournament. There's so much at stake. It was one of the first times you're going to see this type of money being offered in these tournaments. So I think these players are going to play with intensity. I think there's going to be more bench usage as well, and I'm going over 147.5.
Well, this is an incredible field, incredible matchups, and I like the first game better, Alabama plus the points, because I know Gonzaga, it looks like they have an elite defense. Let's see tonight, because they have not faced an offense this lethal, this fast-paced, this ability to shoot from deep and create. So I'm going to take Alabama plus the points.
Credit to you guys. You went heads up on both, but lots of peace here, lots of smiles. We like to see it. Zach Simony, Larry Hartstein, appreciate you guys. Don't forget, you can use code WINNERS for 60% off of a Sportsline membership. Sign up to get daily picks, advice, and more. Everything you need to get ahead of the market. Up next, who will find the end zone first? And if I gave you $100, how are you spending it? That's next.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No. That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
Understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit. Thank you. That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount+.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here.
Oh, man, this is awesome.
The power. Oh, my goodness. What a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's tong skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Everything South Park is streaming on Paramount Plus.
All right, everyone, listen up.
Every character, every story, every season.
That sounds like so much fun!
Everything South Park, all seasons, new episodes, and more. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This could be the greatest opportunity of my life, and it comes with danger.
Well, I bet ain't nobody seen that coming.
Tulsa King. New season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season. Each of you will represent your hometown.
What? These 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Inkmaster Hometown Heroes. New season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Taking a look at the first touchdown odds for tonight's Monday Night Football matchup. To no surprise, CMC, top of the leaderboard, plus 250. Rico, George Kittle, T-Mac. Lots of options there. And with that, we welcome in Zach Simony, Mike McClure, Larry Hartstein. Let's start with the sharp stuff. Mike, I'll come to you first. Who finds the end zone first tonight?
I like Juwan Jennings, Claudia. I think that the obvious benefit here is Juwan Jennings. When you have a healthy 49ers team, yes, you're losing a lot of overall equity to a guy like Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle being out there as well, but it just means less attention's being paid to Juwan Jennings in the red zone. He's been a favorite target, really, of anyone in this system, largely because he was the only guy out there for a while when he was that healthy. So I just like this spot for him. I think that they're very likely to score first, and when they do, I just think the price point makes the most sense here on Juwan Jennings.
Well, Ja'Tavion Sanders is coming in 27 or 30 to 1. He has not scored a touchdown this season. Let's get that out of the way. But he does have 9 red zone targets in only 8 games. And the Niners have given up 4 touchdowns to tight ends just over the last 3 weeks. So if, the Niners are blanketing Ted McMillan and they get down low, I think Ja'Tavion Sanders has a great chance to catch that touchdown.
And I have to go with 49ers tight end George Kittle, the lowest odds of the 3 guys here, plus 650 odds. He's not having the same volume catches as in years past, but of his 27 catches, 5 are touchdowns. And this is an area we're seeing growth from Kittle over the recent stretch. He's had 4 touchdowns over the last 4 games. And when you look at Brock Purdy, just 3 starts on the year, 7 of his passing touchdowns, 5 of those have went to the tight ends, 3 to George Kittle, 2 to Jake Tonjes. So when they get in the red zone, I expect George Kittle to get the first touchdown at plus 650 odds.
Well, since you guys don't want to take them, I'll take them. How about CMC? This is all about volume, right? 3rd most red zone rush attempts, leading the team in those targets through the air as well in the red zone and the touchdowns. I know it's plus 250. I know it's square. But if you want any sort of plus money, you got to touch these crazy markets with our guy, CMC. All right, now I'm going to dish out some Benjamins, okay? We're going to test everybody's bankroll skills. Everybody gets 100 to spread across 2 bets. You get the side, you get the total, and you're using your budget based on how confident you are in each bet. So, fellas, Larry, I'll come to you first. Here's the Benjamin. How much of this are you putting on a side, and which side is that going to be?
I'll take $75 and I'll put it on the Panthers plus 7.5 to keep this close. Maybe not win the game outright, but to score plenty. Again, this is a bottom 5 defense that the Niners are trotting out there to complement their top 5 offense. I mean, since losing Fred Warner, they are the worst in EPA per dropback. They are the worst in pressure rate. That is for the whole season. I mean, they just lost too many people on defense, and we've seen the Panthers take some strides offensively, not just Ted McMillan, but Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker. These guys are coming on. Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. There are plenty of weapons for the Carolina Panthers to cover this game, be competitive the whole way, or if we need be, get through the back door late with a garbage touchdown.
And I'm going to be on the other side, spending $65 on the 49ers minus the 7.5. Do shop around, as there still are some 7s out there. But Laird just touched on the 49ers being the worst in a lot of categories defensively. But Carolina is the worst team in the NFL in point differential-wise for any team above 500. Their offense has scored 42 points less than their defense has given up on the season. And we've seen it recently. They lost 17-7 to the Saints. They were down 21-7 against the Falcons last week. And when I look at the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan is such a great situational coach. They've improved their special teams from the kicking aspect and the return aspect. In each of the last 3 weeks, they've taken advantage of before and post halftime where they've scored each of the last 3 games. So I look at the San Francisco 49ers team. They're also good at opening drive touchdowns as well, which they've done 2 out of the last 3 weeks. I think that situational football ends up being the difference. I'll take the 49ers minus the 7.5.
I'm right there with you, Zach. I'm going to go half on the 49ers here, 50 on the Niners, minus 7.5. Ultimately, I think they win this game by double digits. When you look at this Carolina team, I think they've done a great job of taking advantage of situations where they've caught teams at exactly the perfect time to catch them. I think it's a different story going on the road, cross-country in prime time against a Niners team that's as healthy as they have been. When they've got all the weapons there, whether it be Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, or the starting quarterback Brock Purdy, paired with a healthy offensive line, I just think they're a very different team. And I think that improved offense is going to help improve the defense, whether that's motivational or whether it's just simply keeping that defense off the field. I think it's good things ahead for San Francisco here, minus 7.5.
Well, I don't want to gang up on Larry. But
Go ahead.
if I had the $100, I'd probably put it on the Niners just because you talked about it, Mike. It's healthy that they've been. They have their left tackle back. They have their weapons back. Brock Purdy didn't skip a beat coming back in that first game. I know the Panthers have no right keeping games close, and they have been. They're winning games outright as underdogs. Maybe Panthers score first. I wait for the line to come down because the 7.5 scares me. Opened at 6. And then I bet the Niners. But I'm not part of this game, so it doesn't count. Total, the early open was 45.5. That was the look-ahead line. That's up to 49.5 now. Zach, looking at the total, whatever money you have left, are you putting the rest on the total?
Not all of it. I'm going to be cautious on the total here, not in love with it. So I'm just going to spend $15 here. I just do not trust this Carolina Panthers offense to produce enough points. Their road offense has been abysmal this season. 4 road games, they've scored 16 points or less. Another road game against Arizona, they had just 3 first-half points. So I'm not buying into what we saw last week against the Atlanta Falcons, that big outlier performance of 30 points. And then with Kyle Shanahan, we know with an established lead, as I expect, is going to run that clock-churning second-half offense. Keep in mind, Brock Purdy is making his second straight start for the first time this season. You have to go back to the tail end of last year, the last time he was in this situation. So you want to protect Brock Purdy here. I think you protect the lead as well. I'll go under the total on 49.5 points.
Claudia, I'm putting the remaining 50 on the under 49.5 here. I agreed with where the market was on the open. Frankly, I could maybe make the case to get it up to 47 until I see it on the road again from the Carolina Panthers here. Like Zach, I tend to think that San Francisco is going to be able to do what they want offensively, and that's going to lead to a lot of clock churning in the second half of this game. And you look at what the Panthers have had a little bit of success with. It had been running the football with Rico Dowdle. However, last few weeks back down under 3 yards per carry. Could be in a spot where the game script simply doesn't allow them to continue to commit to that run late. So I agreed with where the open was, not the close here. Give me the under 49.5.
Well, it looks like I have to play my role and be the contrarian here tonight, and I'm going over the total. I'm putting $25, 1/4 of my budget over the total because the Panthers rank 31st in pressure rate. The Niners rank 32nd in pressure rate. These are 2 quarterbacks who are going to be very comfortable. You look at the last month, the Niners games have been the highest scoring in the NFL, aside from the Bengals and the Cardinals. They just don't have the personnel. I know they're going to do their part. I'm confident the Panthers will do their part and get into the 20s.
All right, and Zach, I get the money back. You don't get to pocket it. If you're not going to spend the full 100, it's a free roll. Crazy. All right, Zach, Mike, Larry, appreciate you guys. Don't go anywhere. We've got best bets on the other side because y'all know it's not a Monday night primetime pregame without Monday Night Football. Best bets. Don't go anywhere.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount Plus.
You need a hug?
You need a fist? Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything.
I do have one question.
We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here.
Oh man, this is awesome.
The power. Oh my goodness. What a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Everything South Park is streaming on Paramount Plus.
All right, everyone, listen up.
Every character, every story, every season.
That sounds like so much fun!
Everything South Park, all seasons, new episodes, and more. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This could be the greatest opportunity of my life, and it comes with danger. Well, I bet ain't nobody seen that coming.
Tulsa King, new season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Survivor is always evolving. This is your moment.
I will try to be brave, but not on day one.
This is your season. Each of you will represent your hometown.
It's 15 artists battling to take over the world.
I want to put Hawaii on the map, and not just in that little box on the bottom corner.
Inkmaster Hometown Heroes, new season now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Wrapping up primetime pregame, the only way we know how, all on the line wagers. Welcoming back in the crew, Larry, Zach, Mike. I need your best bet of the night. Mike, I'm coming to you first.
I like Carolina's team total under 20.5. I'm going to fade them scoring that third touchdown ultimately. I don't think they land in the end zone 3 times here. This is a team that has struggled to put up points offensively when playing on the road. And while Bryce Young has played a little better at times on the road, that is something that I expect to continue. I don't treat this game kind of like those closer divisional road games. This is a cross-country trip against a very healthy 49ers team. I think that the 49ers improve defensively in this spot. I think offensively they have their way. Gonna fade point number 21 here, go under 20.5 on the team total.
And I'm staying with the 49ers, laying the 7.5 on the point spread. Carolina, certainly an improved team, but this is their third road game out of their last 4 games overall, and they still have not had their bye week, which does not come until week 14. When you look at their 3-game winning streak in early October, Rico Dowdle was such an important part of that win streak. He's been held in check, 54 yards or less in 3 out of his last 4 games. Mike touched on the yards per carry dip that we've seen, just 2.9 yards per carry against the Saints, 2.4 last week against the Atlanta Falcons. I think that puts too much pressure on Bryce Young to deliver for 4 quarters. I'll lay the 7.5 with San Francisco.
I love Ted McMillan to go over his receiving yards. This number's climbed a bit, but I still think he's going to fly over. He is the first read. He has a 30% target share, and what I love is they're using him in the slot now and on some short routes. The Niners give up the most yards to the slot. He actually had 4 catches out of the slot last week when he went for 130 yards against the Falcons. With the potential trailing game script, it's going to be pass heavy. It's going to go to Ted McMillan.
All right, love the confidence there with T-Mac. I'm going to go with the 2-leg parlay. Nothing crazy. It's at even money. I'm just afraid of the hook with George Kittle on the 4.5 catches. So we're going to bring it down to 4 catches, which he's done in all but 1 of his 6 games. Only time he didn't, it was the game coming back from injury. He's got all of his 19 targets over the last 3 weeks. So Kittle, 4 more catches. And then what's something we could pair this with that catches every single game? The answer is CMC, 40 or more yards. He has done that in every game. He's averaging over 66. A career 9.9 yards a catch, more than double the catches of anybody on the team. Oh, and George Kittle, also great matchup. Panthers dead last in DVOA against the tight end position. That's important. So again, not crazy, but even money. As for the guys, they're going to give you some plus money because we're going to parlay all of it together. We're going with Larry and T-Mac. Zach going to lay the 7.5 with the Niners, and then Panthers team total. And now we're talking some plus money, plus 432. Larry, Zach, Mike, appreciate you guys. And don't forget to catch the early edge Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. All of CBS's best get together to share their latest advice and plays, getting you ready to beat the market every day. The Early Edge, Sportsline's daily sports betting podcast. And that'll do it for this Monday edition of Primetime Pregame. For the rest of the crew, I'm Claudia Bellafato. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy Monday Night Football.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No. That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic. You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here.
Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness. What a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Welcome into Primetime Pregame. Joe Musso and Kiana Martin putting the cherry on top of a wild Week 12 Sunday. But here on Monday, expected and unexpected meeting as the NFC playoff picture comes more into focus.
Yeah, as that picture sharpens, the margins are shrinking, and one loss Monday night could echo through the NFC. But Brock Purdy, well, he didn't skip a beat after missing 6 games due to turf toe. He finished 19 of 26 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in a convincing 41-22 win over the Cardinals this past Sunday. Now San Francisco hoping for more of the same from him tonight. But here's Purdy on how he would evaluate his first game back for the Niners.
Yeah, I thought it was good just to get my feet wet again and sort of go through reads, compete, find a way to win, all that kind of stuff, man. It's hard to emulate that at practice. And so until you're in a game situation, when you go out there and you know, they score and we got to respond, like those kind of situational football moments, it just felt good being in that. And but I think outside of that, for me, I went back, watched the film, and thought, you know, I could still play better and make some better decisions with the ball, and at the same time, you know, just be aggressive and have that aggressive mentality. So it's a balance of that, and so that's just where I'm at after last game. But I think as an offense, we have a lot of momentum right now from that last game. But you know, we got to find that again come Sunday or Monday night. So that's sort of where my mind's at, and after watching the game.
Well, a win tonight in San Francisco, that will give the Panthers sole possession of first place in the NFC South. Carolina hasn't made the postseason since 2017. The road to the playoffs, though, will not be easy, with 5 of their final 6 games all coming against teams currently above 500. Head coach Dave Canales is embracing the challenge ahead.
What a great opportunity for us to play an excellent opponent, a team that I really respect. From a players and coaching standpoint on Monday Night Football. There'll be a bunch of cameras out there, a lot more action that way. You know, you get to be the show of the week, and that's something that prepares us to handle these types of situations, you know, with class and with the right intentionality and focus. And that's why we try to preach every game as a championship opportunity, so that you don't all of a sudden have to get up for Monday Night Football. But it'll be special. It'll be great. I encourage our guys to take in the moments, take in the opportunities, look around, hear the sounds, feel it, feel all of it, and still get back to our execution and be able to have a great focused week. So there's a lot of excitement, but at the same time, you know, we have to treat this as another game, playoff implications, all those things right in front of us, with the Niners continuing to battle to find ways to win. And this is a great opportunity for us.
So let's take a look at the notable actives and inactives for tonight. The Panthers, well, they'll be down 3 starters. Linebackers Christian Rosenboom and Trevin Wallace, and center Cade Mays. Also for the 49ers, defensive lineman Robert Beal Jr. out with a concussion. Linebacker Tatum Bethune is out with an ankle injury, and kicker Eddie Pinheiro out with a concussion. So as we talk about this potential NFC showdown between those hopefuls. We'll send it back to the desk. Joe Musso with the fellas.
Thank you, Kiana. Active and always available, the two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden, NFL analyst Emery Hunt in the mix, as well as we break down what we might see here on Monday night. And if I may just read into the record, San Francisco 7-4, but Rams win, Bears win, Seahawks win, Packers win, Lions win, Cowboys win. Mac, what are you hoping to learn tonight about San Francisco as they try and keep pace in the division, yes, but more prescient in that wild card race?
Well, I'm looking to see a San Francisco team pretty much at full throttle offensively. Now you got Brock Purdy back in the saddle, CMC, George Kittle. It's been quite some time since we've seen all three guys together healthy. And I'm looking to see efficiency offensively, and not to mention just being consistent and scoring points most importantly. We saw a small sample size from Brock Purdy last week. He didn't have to put forth his best effort, but what we did see was he was overly efficient, right? 3 passing touchdowns. He was very, very accurate with his passes. And that's what we envision this offense looking like, Emery, the rest of the way, especially with him getting his feet under him and being more acclimated in this offense. And defensively, they just got to get timely stops. They've been dealing with so many injuries on the defensive side on all 3 levels. Yeah. They just got to get timely stops and just give their offense the extra possessions that they need to be able to score points.
That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, the defensive side of the ball for San Francisco, because this is a strength versus strength battle when we're talking about an emerging passing game of Carolina with some matchup problems that they pose to opposing defenses. With the secondary, I like a lot in San Francisco, but the problem is, will they be able to get pressure up front? Because when we look at Carolina and how they've been able to have success and be in this playoff picture, it's because their offense has done a fantastic job in just playing fast and playing spread out football. Can San Francisco do an even better job of stopping these guys, the run game, but also getting pressure on Bryce Young and really challenging those wide receivers? Because if the secondary, which is talented, can't get help from the front end, it doesn't matter who's back on the back end.
Mac, you mentioned the offense for San Francisco. We know where it starts and where it ends. CMC facing his former franchise for the first time, but it does feel a bit far removed to call this one a get-back game, any sort of revenge in it. But we must remember the way he was shipped off, told for 2 weeks that they weren't trading him, and then on a Thursday, we'll see it. Here's CMC in the lead-up to this one.
I take every game seriously, and this one I also take very seriously.
Are there any conversations this week just about old times, about the game coming up?
No, I'm locked in this week. I'm sure I'll see all those guys on Monday, before and after the game and say what's up. If there's any extra added emotion, you just let that come naturally on game day. That's what I say, any given Sunday. We're unlike other professional leagues where we have a limited amount of games, and each one is unbelievably important.
As thoughtful as he is effective, often CMC there offering his thoughts, Emery, in the lead up to this one. 4 years removed, but so much history there, and we've already detailed the way it ended in Carolina. Do you read that as maybe the company line, or do you really think CMC is focused just here at the task at hand?
I think he's really focused on just here at the task at hand because he is so far removed from Carolina, and he has had his own issues in San Francisco in terms of staying healthy, which he doesn't even worry about what happened in Carolina. And plus, I honestly believe the NFL is so different than other leagues, or maybe they're just right along the same, is that guys are so transient now in this game and they move around a lot to where
it's business.
Yeah, it's just business. You don't even get used to this is a team I want to. Rarely does that happen, but I feel like he's telling the truth here because he understands there's a bigger goal in mind, wanting to keep pace and wanting to have.
Mac's always looking for some get back.
No question, and let's keep it real. We're get back type of people, male or female, especially in life, professionally. And just in life in general, have you ever been dumped before?
Yes.
Have you ever been dumped before?
Just leave my personal life out.
I mean, what's the mindset when you're dumped?
Oh, let me go show him.
Anytime you see that ex, you want to let that ex know, I'm doing bigger and better things without you, I'm going
to put on my best double-breasted and cream sweater, maybe a little chain. I'm going to step out.
You just never know when you might want to see the ex or the ex see you. And he's seen his ex tonight. It's been 4 years removed. They dumped CMC. They moved him after saying, I'm not dumping you. I love you. We're going to stick together forever. And they lied to you, CMC. So, yes, it's been 4 years, but you want to get your lick back. You want to get some get back, and you want to let them know, Carolina, it was your mistake and allow me to go elsewhere. I'm doing bigger and better things. I got a better house. I got a better car. And my new significant other looks better than what you look at your best day. And that's what he's going to show Carolina right now.
Love Petty LaBelle over here, man.
I'm just saying.
We'll see.
Only you.
I was told there'd be no singing. CMC always brings enough juice for any game, but maybe a little bit something extra in this one as he goes up against his former team. We'll see how it all plays out. On the Panthers side of the conversation, they are overperforming, and in an effort to figure out the why of it all, your eyes first, Mac, go to Bryce Young, but it was a franchise record 440-something a week ago. Prior to that, couldn't get over the 200-yard mark through the air. So where have you seen development from the first overall in this sort of down, and then up performance?
Well, I'll say this. Last week, it was a little bit about two things. Two things can be true. Bryce Young was outstanding, and Atlanta was bad, right? So hopefully that built some confidence for Bryce Young and the entire aerial attack for him, because they would need to have Bryce Young play really, really good football the rest of the way. And what I saw last week, Emory Joe, was the grit and the toughness for Bryce really put on display, because he was hit. He left the game, came back, got slammed, came out, came back, and he was lighting them up. This was the first time, I think, in his career in the NFL where he looked like Bryce Young at Alabama, where he was just throwing it around the yard with confidence, and he was believing his pass catchers were going to create the necessary separation for him to have that window of opportunity to deliver passes. And now we've seen that. We don't expect to see 448 week in and week out, but we expect to see more than 200. We need to see more than 200 for them to continue to try to get close to winning their division, because that's the only way I think Carolina will get into the playoffs. They got to win their division, because the NFC is so sticky, it's so competitive. One team from the NFC South is getting into the playoffs, and that's the divisional winner. And as we stand tonight, if they win this ball game, they have the #1 spot in the NFC South in November. I don't think that was thinkable or imaginable in the month of August with Carolina. But to your point, they have outkicked their coverage. Can they continue to do so tonight?
To quote the great American poets Run DMC, the turntable might wobble, but it doesn't fall down. The turntable in this situation are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are watching them from afar like, oh, they're shaky. We can go knock them out if they win this ball game. So for Bryce Young to have that performance that we saw last week, in that ball game, we threw for 400 yards, take the training wheels off. Allow him to go up-tempo, call his own plays from the line of scrimmage, and just air it out. They're limiting his ability to be Bryce Young, which is what we all fell in love with at Alabama, allowing him to be the true point guard out there by just picking and choosing where he wants to go, spread the field, because he is a dynamic player in the pocket. He is a dynamic runner. He does a great job creating off script. And the one game they got blown out this year against the Buffalo Bills, he didn't play. So we don't know what that would have looked like, but I like what I'm seeing from him if they're allowing him to be Bryce Young and not try to make him a game manager.
When you look at the remaining opponents for both Tampa Bay and for Carolina, favors the schedule of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but those are only in principle. That's only in theory. We go in depth on those on our playoff preview. You can check that out right now on CBS Sports' YouTube page. As for the here and now, Teteroa McMillan has been the biggest part of this passing attack. He's been spectacular, developing in front of our eyes. And you're always taking stock of an opponent. Kyle Shanahan offering some glowing praise here of the rookie wide receiver.
I think he's a stud. He's going to be one of the best receivers in this league sooner than later. He's got all the skill sets to do it, and I think he's just getting started.
All right, concise and to the point, as Kyle Shanahan often is. But, Emory, I was wary of the ability to get in and out of breaks here early in his career. We've seen some of that. You like the route running right now, but catch radius has been so great, and he's getting, I don't want to call it force-fed, but certainly the lion's share of this passing offense.
He was my #1 split-end X-receiver in this year's draft class, and my comp for him was Mike Evans, and I'll tell you why when we look at the film. When we look at what he did well, or what he does well, you talked about it. And I'm going to just read off the scouting report that I have for him because it all checks out and jibes really well. Elite-level hands and catch radius. Watch the route here. Step on the defensive back toes, come back to the football, make yourself available for the quarterback. Ability to uncover himself in scramble situations. This is a great job by our crew, putting the arrow to show you the route he traveled like Copernicus.
Go find some green grass.
He did, and that long body allowed him to make a play, right? You're going to see right here at the top of the screen, you can line him up across formation, and that makes him a legitimate threat. Watch, step on the toes, boom, work himself out. That's just a great route right there, coming back to the football, deep chunk play. Here versus Atlanta, I think because he's 6'5", and we talked about this, Joe, he has a swimmer build, long torso. Watch how he's able to split this defense that has him in a triangulated situation as he comes off the ball. Pause it right there. Boom. Look at all that space. You got 3 defenders. One has his back turned. Watch how he splits these guys. Underrated speed. Had he not been a person right there, he's off to the races. So that's a significant chunk play. And because he's a significant red zone threat, because of his ability to win above the rim and move and play all 3 receiver spots, watch this route right here. Bang, bang. Why he felt like that, B-Mac? Why he on the ground? Like, clean up on aisle 7 and just worked himself open, ACLs all over the place. But that's why he's such a tremendous asset. He can play all 3 receiver spots, can go above the rim, can win short, intermediate, deep down the field, and his rack skills are impressive for a guy that's 6'5".
It's very dynamic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, we saw that while he was at Arizona, right? We saw the catch radius. We saw the ability to create separation. And what we're seeing now was a guy, in terms of the maturation process, he's been called to mature extremely fast because they have no one else. They have no one else, and he's been handling the workload easy for me from what I've seen. And what we saw last week in a game where they had to have it, right? Bryce Young had to deliver. Tet was right there making big-time critical catches, and he's just been a phenomenal asset to the passing game. He's been the only glimmer of hope, consistent glimmer of hope in the passing game, and he has to continue to live up to the billing. The one thing he has at his disposal tonight, a national stage.
Yeah.
This is where you really earn the Pro Bowl votes. This is where you really earn the All-Pro votes on Monday Night Football when everyone else is watching, because he's been doing a phenomenal job. But everyone hasn't seen it. There's not a lot of ball watchers like we watch ball here. We watch everything. Now you get a chance to see the young fella put his head on and do what he needs to do.
And I will offer to our crowd, the uninitiated, he doesn't like Tet, is what I'm told.
Yes.
He wants T-Mac. You make plays on the primetime stage, we'll call you whatever you want. We're calling him a 7.5-point underdog tonight, Mac. It's all well and good what this Carolina team has been able to accomplish to this point. But our friends at FanDuel do not see a favorite here. 7.5 points the other way, total coming in at 49.5. What's the end scene look like?
The end scene for me is San Francisco. Brock Purdy, George Kittle playing together, and Christian McCaffrey playing together. They're 26-8 when they have been on the football field together. So they win ball games. But this is about putting money in your pocket and knowledge in your mind. Give me San Francisco. I believe we will see what we saw last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Very, very efficient football. Kyle Shanahan will be in his bag. He has this big 3 in the lineup. I don't believe Carolina will have the horses to keep up with this race they're about to embark in on when you look at what San Francisco is going on. And don't forget, Carolina, they're missing 2 starting linebackers. Yeah. So that tells me CMC is going to have a field day in terms of running the football, not to mention in the passing game. And then you have to worry about George Kittle. You got Ricky Pearsall back in the lineup. Jawan Jennings. They got a full cast of pass catchers, man. This is going to be entertaining.
Not full. The Brandon Aayuk news. We'll get there. We'll get there. I never your pick.
I like Carolina in this one. Give me Carolina plus the 7.5. I think we'll see them because now they see a chance to strike quick with Tampa Bay sitting there shaky. Give me the Panthers to keep this one close. I like the fact that they have a good matchup between their passing game versus that secondary in San Francisco.
I like the fact that we got an HQ head-to-head tonight between Emery Hunt and Bryant McFadden, seeing much the same way, except what that final number might look like. Thank you, gentlemen. As always, plenty more to come from these two. We got top props, we got big picks, but straight ahead, it's Brock back with a bang.
What's Jim Harbaugh doing out there?
How will the leader of the Niner gang fare in primetime? We pit Pete versus the book next on Primetime Pregame.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm gonna spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit. Thank you. That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story. Every great story
Would you believe this?
Needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game. Live on Paramount Plus.
At this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Tommy, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. That power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
There are some things in life that you can't quite explain.
An extraordinary story.
Maybe it sounds flawless, looks effortless, or makes you feel like a part of history.
The first ever goal for BFC.
And when all of those phenomenons come together, it's perfect. Pitch perfect.
When you need your sports news all the time,
We've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. Movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
Back up on Primetime Pregame, where Brock Purdy is set for just his 4th start of the season. The sample size on the small side, but the production is there. Purdy, good for 262 per game. It was a 3-touchdown, no giveaway performance in his Week 11 return. All earned, none given in the house of Prisco. Pete and our Vegas insider Todd Furman in to assess the matchup. Gentlemen, great to be with you as always. Pete, I would describe the Purdy return as in control a week ago. The numbers don't blow you away, but anytime you can get 3-0, you take it. A similar defense across from him tonight. Surface level, what's the matchup look like to you?
Well, on the surface, it looks like you're going to be facing a team that plays the most zone of anybody in the league. And when you're Brock Purdy, you take advantage of that. And he's been very good in his career against zone. And so I think this is going to be one of those games where if he gets protected, and I think he will, he's going to be able to sit in there and pick apart a defense that's, been okay, but not great. And here's the other part of the equation tonight. The linebackers are both out, the starting linebackers, and that means you have young linebackers in the game. And when you're Brock Purdy and you're Kyle Shanahan and you see young linebackers in the game, what do? You get them flowing one way and you throw back the other way. It's been a staple of the 49ers offense for years under Kyle Shanahan. That means the fullback can leak out. That means the tight end can leak out. And I think that's where Brock Purdy is so good. He's such a good thrower of the football when he knows where he's going with it. And he's one of those guys that if you adjust one way, he's going to come back the other, which is why he's had so much success against zone coverage, which is why this could be a real tough matchup for the Carolina Panthers, who lead the league in zone coverage.
You know, Pete, when I look at Brock Purdy, I'm going to take a small shot on him coming in under his completion number at 22.5. Not because I don't think the matchup is in the plus territory for him to go out there and put together a prolific day from a touchdown and yardage standpoint, but I think the 49ers can be extremely balanced and run the football with Christian McCaffrey. We're seeing Brian Robinson start to cut into some of CMC's touches as a runner, and I think as a result, we may only see Brock Purdy drop back to throw the football 30 times tonight, which makes completing more than 23 passes that much more difficult. When you look at Purdy's numbers, we know it's a limited sample size so far this season amongst 43 qualifying passers. he checks nearly every box from an underlying metric standpoint. And as you continue to dig into some of those figures, Pete mentioned the linebacking issue that Carolina is going to face today. I think the middle of the field is going to provide ample opportunity for Brock Purdy to operate at all three levels. I just don't see the volume being put on his shoulders in a game like this for him to complete 23 passes or more, and that's what leads me to the under with a slight contrarian angle, although I would make a case for him to go over his yardage number because I think the explosives could be there as well.
All right, interesting read there. We'll see who they get those explosives to. Pete, you allude to it. You got a fullback who's a running back but plays like a tight end. You got a tight end who blocks like a tackle but catches like a wide receiver. You got a running back who does it all. The only question mark's really on the outside. We'll have more on the Aayuk situation later on in the hour, but as for those willing to render services here, what does it look like downfield tonight?
Well, downfield's been limited in large part because most of those guys haven't been on the field. And when you're not on the field, you don't get the opportunities. And Ricky Pearsall's now just coming back for the second week, and he's been limited offensively. Jennings has had some injury issues and doesn't run that well. So where do you go? Well, you know where you go? You go to the obvious. And the obvious is George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. And I know we're going to talk about McCaffrey as a runner, but we're going to talk about him as a receiver because Carolina's given up the catches to running backs in the National Football League. When you play a lot of zone, there's going to be a lot of chances to check the ball down and take those shots into the flat with McCaffrey and put him in some one-on-one situations. The other side of that is they've also given up the fourth most catches to tight ends, and that means George Kittle will be a factor. And we know Brock Purdy loves George Kittle. Let's not overthink it here. Sometimes we get into these segments and we say, okay, well, who's going to be the down the field threat? Where is he going? What is he going to do? You know what he's going to do? He's going to do what we think he's going to do. He's going to throw the ball to George Kittle. He's going to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to move the chains. As far as hitting those shot plays, those big chunk plays down the field, I don't know if he's going to get those to the wide receivers other than maybe one or two, if he can. But the opportunity is going to be to the tight end and the running back. And so that's where I would look if you're going to look for pass catchers in this game.
Todd, I don't know about your read on that, but I do feel like we just snuck in. I think there was a Musso impression in there. It felt a little condescending, but that's what we're here for. That is what we're here for.
I mean, look, the bottom line is Pete taking shots at people that like to overthink things. I mean, I'm the poster child for that. Trying to find angles in the betting market and looking at guys that I think are undervalued. Look, I'm not going to disagree with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle being the focal point of what the 49ers want to do in their passing game, but I think both of those guys, to a certain extent, are being priced correctly. There is one receiver, in my opinion, that's being a little bit undersold because he was an afterthought last week for the 49ers in a game where they didn't have to stretch the field looking to try and get the receivers involved, and that would be Ricky Pearsall. So as a result, gentlemen, I'm going to buy low on Pearsall's total in the low 40s. You look at the way he should be able to feast in this particular matchup. I don't see him being matched up against J.C. Horn more often than not. And against single high, look, he leads the team in target share. He leads the team in first read share. He leads the team in yards per route run. I think this is where you can buy low if the 49ers want to get their wide receiver one trending in the right direction as they come down the stretch. This seems to be a favorable matchup on paper. Yes, CMC and Kittle are going to eat, but I think Ricky Pearsall amongst the wide receivers is the guy that I would want to zero in on. I'm going to buy low over 42.5 receiving yards.
All right. I'm not going to overthink it. We're going to talk running backs, and I'm going to keep it simple. Pete, how freaking awesome is Christian McCaffrey?
By the way, that was not a shot at you. Don't take it personally.
I know.
Better than that, Joe. If I'm taking a shot at you, I'm going to hit you right smack between the eyes. You know that better than anybody. Been fantastic, and he's carried this football team. He just hasn't rolled up the big numbers that we've come to expect from him. But he's getting the touches, he's getting the yards because they need to get the touches and the yards, and that's going to be no different here. Look, Carolina's had their moments where they've been good against the run. Lately, it hasn't been as good. I do think you're going to be able to get opportunities to run between the tackles, but more than that, like I said, get him wide, get him in space. We know he causes all kinds of problem, and this is a run defense that's been okay, middle of the pack, 113 per game, but I do think there's going to be an opportunity for the 49ers. Remember, everything Kyle Shanahan wants to do in his offense is predicated and built on what they can do in the run game. If they get one, run into the right side, they're going to throw back to the left. If they get you running to the left, they're going to come back and sneak the tight end out and throw to the right. So that's what they want to do. If you can choke off the run in this offense, the Shanahan offense, if you choke off the run, it really limits what they can do in the passing game. So I think that's going to be the focal point. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it.
And for me, guys, look, I dig into Christian McCaffrey's numbers, and I know over the last couple weeks you've had diametrically opposed game states. One where the 49ers played with a lead early on against the Arizona Cardinals and didn't have to run their bell cow back into the ground. And the week previously against the Rams, they played from behind, so McCaffrey's workload was minimized. But it's hard to ignore that in 3 out of the last 4 games, the biggest carry total that we've seen from McCaffrey has been 14 totes. And I think that trend can continue. As you read some of the comments and you listen to the interviews with Kyle Shanahan, he's waxed poetically about Brian Robinson and what kind of dynamic he has added in the backfield. So if Brian Robinson is going to be utilized and get, let's say, 6 to 8, maybe even a few more carries than that, it cuts into the McCaffrey workload, which I think is smart as you get towards the latter portion of the season. We know how much they put on Christian's plate from a touch perspective, and this is a guy that can add just as much in the receiving room as he can running between the tackles. I think this number is a little bit rich at 16.5 carries, and it's ultimately where I settled in terms of trying to go under 16.5 rushing attempts for Christian McCaffrey. I think he can go over his yardage total in the receiving department, but I just don't see them trying to run him into a brick wall, albeit the Carolina Panthers run defense probably wouldn't be synonymous with that. But at the same time, if they run the ball 25 times, I think Brian Robinson could flirt with 10 carries today. I'll take CMC under 16.5 carries himself.
That is Pete Prisco and Todd Furman. Less scathing than expected. Thank you, gentlemen. More to come here on Primetime Pregame. Straight ahead, Bryce was nice. How about twice? What you got for an encore? We assess next.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so strong.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount+.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season now streaming on Paramount+.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Back on CBS Sports HQ Primetime Pregame, fresh off a franchise record, Bryce Young back at it in the Bay. Boom or bust, Young sputtering along until offensive outburst in Week 11. The former first overall now at the helm of what could be, at night's end, a division leader. Here's Young with more on the breakout.
Super grateful for all that. It's great. We know what we're capable of, but again, that doesn't entitle us to anything. We're going to start whatever the first play is. It's going to be 0-0, and we're going to have to try to earn the right to go out there and win. We don't, there's no carryover. It doesn't matter. So we always trust each other. We always believe in each other. Know what we're capable of, but we have to earn the right throughout the week. We have to earn the right on Monday to go out there and execute. So not big into thinking, what the cause of effect, anything that happened in the past. Now we're just excited for the opportunity.
From Young to two Utes, we say hello again to Pete Prisco and Todd Furman. Pete, this San Francisco defense has a certain standard in the building, but if that building is a grocery store, it's sort of the Aldi brand version of it right now. The brand name's not there. What does the matchup look like tonight?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you don't have Nick Bosa, you don't have Fred Warner. I mean, those are the heart and soul of the defense. And when you try and play defense without the heart and soul, it's tough to do. And they've done a decent job of it without them. It's just that it's so tough week in and week out. And you look at their sack numbers, they don't get after the quarterback at all. I mean, they're last in the league in sacks, last in the league in pressures, and that's a real problem, particularly when you play a guy like Bryce Young. Look, he struggles with pressure. The problem is this team doesn't pressure. And so you look at last week, he was outstanding throwing the football. It was his best game by far, not even close. And he's one of the tops in the league playing in empty sets. And the reason you can play in empty sets is when you can protect. And when this team doesn't rush the passer the way they have in the past, that means you can get to your empty sets. And he's been really good. It really suits his style. So I would expect to see a lot of that early in this game and often to attack that 49ers defense. They're one of those zone-heavy teams as well. We know that's Robert Saleh's MO. He likes to play a lot of zone coverage. So I think it's going to be more dink and dunk style of offense. But again, use the empty sets to your advantage against a team that, quite frankly, can't rush the passer at all.
You mentioned it, Pete. The 49ers dead last when it comes to generating pressure, and we know that's been the Achilles heel for Bryce Young, at least at this juncture of his career. And last week when Bryce Young's breakout performance, we saw the Carolina Panthers 14th in pass rate over expectation. Why is that number important? Because it was the highest such in that metric classification since week 2, which also happened to be the only other time this season where Bryce Young threw for more than 200 yards. I think Dave Canales realizes he has a quarterback that's coming into this game with a little bit of confidence, and he needs to try and tap into it. Let Bryce Young throw the football early and often. We've seen Rico Dowdle really get bottled up against two mediocre run defenses in the Saints and Falcons in recent weeks, but suddenly this passing attack is coming to life, and if you're able to keep your quarterback upright, there's an avenue to have success. I mean, Pete mentioned the two headliners that aren't there for the 49ers stop unit, but there are a lot of other faces that Robert Saleh would like to lean on, and a player that had even emerged, picking up a bigger role in Fred Warner's absence and Tatum Bethune, he's going to be out as well. So I think the Carolina Panthers definitely have an avenue to being successful throwing the football today, and as a result, I'm going to buy Bryce Young over his passing yardage total at 209.5. I think he's got an excellent chance to go well over that number and flirt with 250 if Carolina is aggressive in this spot, knowing that the 49ers can't do the things defensively that have been the demise of Bryce Young thus far.
All right, we'll see if he can keep running it up. Pete, you make an interesting point about the empty sets, because it's interesting. Young is really throwing it to one guy right now. Tedoroa McMillan leading this team with 740-some yards receiving. Next closest is Xavier Legette with less than half of a target share to him and 264 yards. Does that fact that Young has an obvious place he likes to go with the ball make them a little bit easier to defend tonight?
It does, but you got to remember, Legette had 83 yards and a touchdown last week. And on Monday, what did you hear Dave Canales say? He said, no, we got to get him more involved in the offense. And usually when a coach comes out and says that, what happens? He gets more involved in the offense. So, standpoint, yeah, I still think McMillan's the guy. I mean, look, he had a ton of targets last week, had the 2 touchdowns, was a big factor in the game, and he's going to continue to be the number 1 target. But whenever a coach comes out and says something like that, particularly against a team that has struggled against the pass, like the 49ers have this year, I think they're going to make a concerted effort to get him the football and try and hit some shots down the field to him. It was a great double move last week for the touchdown. I think Legette's going to be more of a factor as we move along. Remember, there were immaturity issues there. You started hearing rumblings of that. He seems to have, put his head on right. He's now become more of a pro, and it's started to show up on the field. So keep an eye on that. If they can get him going along with McMillan, boy, I'll tell you what, you'd have a nice 1-2 punch. And I think tonight's the night you're going to look to see him get more involved in the offense.
And you know what, Pete? I'm going to go even further down that wide receiver depth chart for the Carolina Panthers and look at a guy that I think also has a favorable matchup operating from the slot. And that would be Jalen Coker, who sees his over-under receiving yards listed in the high 20s. Look, this is a guy who's not going to be the alpha in the room by any stretch of the imagination. But when you dig into some of the coverage that the 49ers have deployed with single high, you see Coker's numbers start to tick up from a target share perspective and also a yards per route run. This is a guy that I think is a little bit more dynamic. We've seen him flash in the past when Carolina was dealing with some injuries at the wide receiver position. And last season, before they brought in Tedero McMillan, I think Coker's a guy that gets the opportunity against the 49ers pass defense that's giving up the third most passing yards going back to week 7 to wide receivers. They really struggle in the slot. And I look for Coker to be that guy that can provide the perfect complement to Xavier Legette operating on one side and Tedero McMillan on the other.
Now, Bryce has popped to his receivers in this last game, that franchise record passing, but really what's gotten to this point in this conversation for the division is the run game led by Rico Dowdle. We know he's going to be a big part of that and factoring here into this game number, Todd Furman. 49ers, a 7.5-point favorite, total coming in at 49.5. How do you add the numbers up and factor what might happen tonight?
Look, for me, Joe, I made this game 6. So when you're going to give me the better side of the key number at 7 with 7.5, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers here. Until I see more consistency from this 49ers team week to week and on the defensive side, look, it's tough in this league to go out there and not just win, but to win by margin. Carolina has embraced the underdog role all season long. They have a glorious opportunity placed in front of them tonight, given the result of Sunday Night Football, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were blown out and we're still unsure if Baker Mayfield will be back under center for them next week. They've been the talk of the town and a little bit of a surprise story. Do I think they have enough to win the football game? That's going to be touch and go. Do I think they have enough in the tank to keep this game competitive from start to finish? No doubt about it. I'm more than happy to take the Carolina Panthers plus the points and force the 49ers defense to go out there and show me they can get timely stops and allow their offense to operate at a top level.
Well, I think this game's going to get a little loose. I really do. I think there's going to be points on the board. I think both teams will move the football. But something's fishy about this line. When I look at it, I say, wait a second, why is this number so big? You know, Carolina's been good. They're coming off an impressive showing, and they're getting a big bloated number. So consider me one of the big fish, because I'm going to take the 49ers. I think this number looks really fishy. They reeled me in, got me hooked up, whoom, because I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm just a little disappointed here, because usually when a game's going to get a little loose, it's going to get a little loose. We need a full get a little loose, Pete Prisco.
All right, it's going to get loose.
There we go. Blowing out the audio board. Pete Prisco and Todd Furman. We appreciate the insight and the entertainment as always. Plenty more to come here on Primetime Pregame. There are few guarantees in life in the NFL, even the ones in your contract. The latest on the Brandon Aayuk status, next.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch, crutch, crutch.
Crutch, crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's tong skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sunday. The NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
We got your HQ headlines. The college football playoff is getting an extension on the deadline to decide a new format for 2026 and beyond. The deadline was initially set for December 1st, but with no solution in sight, the deadline has been extended to January 23rd. The playoff committee previously said if no deal on expansion is reached, they're comfortable keeping the 12-team format for another year. Meanwhile, Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups has pleaded not guilty to charges of money laundering and wire fraud conspiracy. Both of those charges carry a maximum punishment of up to 20 years in prison and relate to Billups' alleged involvement in rigged poker games involving organized crime figures. The overseeing judge to the case set his bail at $5 million. In baseball news, the Rockies announced that Warren Schaefer will remain the team's manager. Schaefer took over as interim for Bud Black after a 7-33 start. Colorado went 36-86 with Schaefer at the helm for the rest of the season. Colorado's minus .424 run differential was the worst in baseball since 1900. With this announcement, all of baseball's managerial vacancies have now been filled. Well, less than a year and a half after signing a 4-year, $120 million extension, Brandon Aayuk's tenure with the 49ers appears to be coming to a close. The 49ers voided the guaranteed money in Aayuk's contract for 2026, claiming he failed to meet his contract requirements. Aayuk has yet to play this season after suffering a season-ending knee injury last year against the Chiefs. Kyle Shanahan addressed the unusual situation on Saturday.
With the contract stuff that happened back in July, I knew it was going to be a while for him to come back. I was hoping to get him back around this time, and we've kind of been going about that, like coaching the team. I don't really deal much with injured players. I was told a few weeks ago he was getting closer, and we haven't made progress in that way so far. So from my standpoint, I'm just waiting for him to get back to practice. I've been coaching over 20 years, and I've never been in a situation where a contract's been voided, so it was extremely unusual to me. What happened in July, to me, in my opinion, doesn't have anything to do with the future. That had to do with circumstances that, to me, were out of a coach's hand. You know, the best way I can explain it, when it comes to business matters and lawyers and contracts and things like that. When it comes to the future of this, I mean, I would love for BA to be here. I would love for him to get healthy and get back to really helping us out and being a part of this team. We haven't had that in a little bit, and I still hold out hope that he can get there, but he obviously hasn't gotten there yet.
We are joined by Brian McFadden and Emery Hunt as we try to make sense of this messy yet confusing situation in the Bay. Kyle Shanahan saying that the club made this decision, fellas, back in July. B-Mac, Kyle Shanahan said he's been coaching 20 years. He has never had a voided contract. You have been in the league. You have played for a while. You have covered the league for a while. Not sure if you have seen one, but what do you make of what is transpiring, and what should the 49ers do with Aayuk?
This entire Aayuk contract situation has been confusing, has been very, very frustrating. Remember the back and forths with Brandon Aayuk. Of course, you're a San Francisco 49er fan, so I know you know first-handedly, Kiana, but he flirted with the idea of potentially going elsewhere, right? He flirted with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He made it seem like he wanted to go elsewhere, and they were going back and forth. It was overly drawn out, and then eventually he signed. He signed and came into camp because he sat out wasn't in football shape, so it took some time. Played in 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, then he gets injured, right? We haven't heard anything from Brandon Aayuk since then. Played in 7 games in 2024, right? And he's been hurt. He's been injured since then, had the surgery. He's nowhere close to being back on the grass with the guys. And I don't even know if he really wants to be a part of this team anymore. It sounds like when you void a contract, when you void guaranteed money, you're basically telling that player you're expendable now. Because we can get out of this deal and there's no more guarantees left for you. And they're basically telling you we don't want you without telling you we don't want you. So I don't foresee Brandon Aayuk playing for the San Francisco 49ers anymore. You look at the resources they use. They used a first-round draft pick on Ricky Pearsall. They extended Juwan Jennings to a 1-year deal. Potentially he can get a longer-term deal because he seems to be more dependable than Brandon Aayuk. And, you know, they draft fairly well for the most part. So I don't think Brandon Aayuk will play for the San Francisco 49ers. I think he will be elsewhere whenever he is cleared and ready to go.
It's fascinating because I'm all for pro player getting paid. I want that to happen because of how dangerous the game is. You're always one hit away. But when you don't want to be at the place, I can only help you out. Like, all right, cool. We about to get rid of you. Like, I don't have to. Life too stressful enough for me to deal with someone that just constantly going back. I don't have time to go back and forth with you. I'm about to get you up off the books right away. Like, we about to get you out of here. Like, first thing smoking out of Santa Clara, San Francisco, wherever they playing at, right? So I think you should, like, you voided the contract. He clearly doesn't want to be a 49er. Mm-hmm. He's clearly shown he's not attacking this rehab seriously to be back on the field to play for the team that gave him the contract after he held in.
Yeah, held in.
And so it's like, all right, bro, like, this what you want? I'm about to give you exactly what you asked for.
And I don't know if there's another general manager in the NFL that has been given a bigger pass than John Lynch.
Right.
Because he's done a lot of good things with San Francisco, but he's done a lot of bad things, too, that hasn't worked out. This situation has not worked out. Trey Lance hasn't worked out. Javon Kinlaw hasn't worked out. Solomon Thomas hasn't worked out. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't really work out like that, right? So there's been a lot of mishaps.
He swing and miss. He's spinning around 3
Well, I don't know if necessarily Brandon Aayuk is a swing and a miss. That is a hit, but he's showing us that he does not want to be there. We don't know those details.
I think it was going to be a hit because he was a first-round draft pick, had really really good years, and in totality 4 really good years that led to this contract. But the thing about why I said this was a miss, the entire hold-in situation. While you're holding in, you're telling us you want to go play for another team. Pittsburgh thought they had a deal with him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So to Emery's point, if you really want to be with us and we're trying to get a deal done, be with us.
Right.
Right? I don't think he's going to play with the San Francisco 49ers again.
Yeah, it looks like that time Brandon Aayuk and the 49ers are officially coming to an end. These two parties likely going separate ways. Fellas, good stuff on that insight right there. But Aayuk, you guys have talked about it. He had a steady start in San Francisco before he broke out in that 2022 season with his first 1,000-yard season, which led to continuous negotiations for an extension that followed by, you guys mentioned it, that trade request, a deal to send him to the Steelers, a hold-in that bled into the 2024 preseason before the two sides struck a deal after a campaign that was cut short to injury. The 49ers and Aayuk finding themselves at odds yet again.
First thing smoking.
So from who's not on the field, let's talk about who is, fellas. We put the Panthers and the Niners rosters head-to-head to see who truly has the edge in tonight's Monday Night Showdown. That's next.
Can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Wouldn't take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
First place in the NFC South on the line, as well as a chance to stay afloat in the NFC West race tonight between Panthers and Niners. But where do we find the strengths in each roster? We're back joined by Emery Hunt, Brian McFadden, putting these teams head-to-head. Let's begin at the quarterback position. B-Mac, who has the edge?
I mean, Bryce Young, great game. Arguably the best game of his career last week against Atlanta. But for this matchup, give me Brock Purdy. We saw a small sample size of what he can do with a full throttle of pass catchers in the lineup, completed over 70% of his passes, 3 touchdowns against Arizona. I foresee the same thing potentially happen tonight.
Bryce Young got better every year in the NFL, and we saw him cap off last week with a 400-yard game. I think we'll see that, especially in this high-leverage situation. So give me Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers.
Interesting. Meanwhile, Rico Dowdle has been one of the biggest surprises this season, a big reason for the Panthers' success. But on the other end, I mean, it's Christian McCaffrey. We know that their offense runs through him. So who has the edge in the running back position, Emery?
You ever been dumped?
A couple times.
All right.
I'm lying, never. Come on now.
Oh, I got dumped. I dumped so bad I started doing poetry. I'm gonna say Christian.
Maya Angelou type dude, what's wrong with you?
Let's go. Where are we going?
I'm gonna say emotional. I don't like being around emotional
Carolina
man.
Panthers because I like the depth that they have. But I was in my bag too. Rico Dowdle and Chew Butler.
How old were you?
I was 21.
You was a grown man.
We're gonna have a therapy session at the end of this. Who you got, B-Mac?
Same answer Maya Angelou has. I'm going. San Francisco, who has the edge?
Okay.
Hold on. You said Carolina.
They got 2 backs. I like the depth there. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Pitt.
All right, I'm moving on to pass catchers.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, I can't see that one.
It's 2 versus 1.
But still, you have one that, leads the league in
Robinson
scrimmage
Jr.
yards. Let's move on to pass catchers. You're disappointing me. So pick it up here,
He's
B-Mac.
going to start writing poetry again.
Who you got, B-Mac?
Give me San Francisco. Ricky Pearsall is back. George Kittle is back. Jawan Jennings is back. And CMC, who is the leading receiver. He's the leading receiver for San Francisco. He's in the saddle as well. Pass catchers, it has to be San Francisco. I want to know who you got.
San Francisco. I know we're giving them great analysis. You laid it out perfectly. I go pass catchers with San Francisco.
I'm still confused, Keanu. He went.
Proceed, Keanu.
All right, I want to talk about who's protecting the quarterback, who's opening up those running lanes. Let's look at O-line. Who's going first on this one?
I'll go for Trent Williams. You look at what he's done. He's still one of the best tackles in the game. You look at what they've done in the running game as well and protecting their quarterback. Only allowed, 19 sacks or something like that so far this season. I have to go offensive line with the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm right there with you. I love what they do up front. They allowed some people to move on because they knew what they had in tow. San Francisco by far.
All right, we're both on San Francisco with the O-line. They've done 49ers, meanwhile, dealt with a heap of injuries along their defensive front. Namely, I'm looking at Nick Bosa. I'm looking at Fred Warner. Meanwhile, Panthers without 2 linebackers tonight. So who has the edge in the defensive front 7, B-Mac?
Well, I love Carolina. Derek Brown is still an anchor in the interior, and he's done a great job in run support. They're missing 2 linebackers, to Keenan's point, but I still believe they have the guys up front to be able to put the significant pressure on Brock Purdy and get timely stops in the running game. And San Francisco, they're dead last in the NFL in sacks. I mean, I think they may have 12 sacks, if I'm not being generous. 12 sacks on the year.
Strong suit.
They haven't done a good job in rushing the passes, so give me Carolina.
Give me Carolina as well. Nick Gordon, A'Shawn Robinson, they got a good, strong defensive front that'll help alleviate some of the pressure on those newfound linebackers that are stepping in the lineup.
Let's see if that defensive front 7 can help slow down
Let's
Christian
see that.
McCaffrey. Let's finish this off with the secondary. B-Mac, if you had to rely on one unit, whose would it be?
J.C. Horn. He's been outstanding, one of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. You better believe he will have his handcuffs out tonight. And Mike Jackson as well. He's been performing at a high rate. Morrigan, the safety position. They have some interchangeable guys in the back end. I'll take their secondary over the San Francisco 49ers secondary.
I love the 49ers secondary, and I'm going with them as well because of Jair Brown, Marquis Siegel, Upton Stout, Malik Mustafa. That's one area where John Lynch has not missed.
Okay.
Ronaldo Green, your guy, fantastic secondary.
Florida State.
San Francisco.
I like how this is all shaping up. We'll see how it shapes up Monday Night Football on the way next. Fellas, good stuff right there. Thank you so much. But from the lineup to the prop market, we're diving into the best props for tonight's NFC Showdown and why the fellas see a strong outing for Bryce Young. That's next.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Mommy was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount+.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season now streaming on Paramount+.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Across the 8 o'clock hour in the East, that means it's time to prop it up here on Primetime Pregame, taking a look at some of the top players in this game, and I'm not talking Bryant McFadden and Emery Hunt. Player play on, Brock Purdy is where we start. Bryant McFadden. You look at the numbers, you look at the expectation, and you look at the defense opposite him. How you playing Purdy?
I love Purdy. Over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's minus money, minus 196, but I still love his ability to throw at least 2 touchdowns. We saw a small sample size last week, throwing 3 touchdowns. I love the efficiency, and like I said, he has a full cast of pass catchers surrounding him, along with CMC, who has become a big-time receiver out of the backfield. I love those talented players surrounding him, more so than the guys they will see on the defensive end for Carolina.
It was 3 last time out. Would you be comfortable at 2.5?
I would.
We're looking at that minus 196. You're only getting paid for one of those 2 touchdowns.
I definitely would, because the thing about Kyle Shanahan in the red zone, he's not afraid to throw the football.
Yeah.
And CMC is a +1 in the passing game, which actually helps.
As long as J.C. Horn doesn't get tripped up and fall down, I don't see him going longer than a 36.5-yard completion. So I think his number is going to be under that. I think we'll see all the passing from Brock Purdy, all the efficiency, all of that stuff, but it won't be the deep stuff going deeper down the field.
I'm just trying to get you to some money, Mac. Plus 194.
No. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of this together.
Okay.
Yeah.
A big pot of gumbo of props. That's what we're going to do.
Well, if you are well abreast to the Emory Hunt exploits lately, 22-1 on his. I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown, Emory Hunt.
I'm surprised I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Because you didn't play it.
Let's see if we got another one, another winner on our hands here. CMC, Emory, what do you love?
I love him to go over 18.5 yards rushing in the first quarter. Because you talk about breakup, you talk about bad juju. I like him to go over. And again, we'll see the Panthers want to make this a track meet. They'll get out of the blocks early. Will the 49ers? And I think we'll see them play catch up. I like they'll feature CMC first.
Over his rushing and receiving prop, 118 in a hook. He leads the San Francisco 49ers in receiving yards. He's averaging around 66 yards through the air in terms of pass catching, and not to mention what he does in running the football. In Carolina, they're missing 2 starting linebackers.
Yeah.
So in the passing game, I think this will be a great matchup for CMC. So I love over 118 in the hook, rushing and receiving yards.
McCaffrey on pace to this year become the first player ever to have 2 seasons of 1,000+ rushing yards, 1,000+ receiving yards. He's leading the league
doing
in
it
touches,
quietly.
and scrimmage yards, as you said earlier, leading his team in receiving right now. George Kittle going to be a big part of that passing attack as well, or at least we assume so. What's Kittle's role in the game plan tonight?
Oh, he's catching passes. He's going to be catching passes. I talked about the injuries at the linebacker position for Carolina. They've already were dealing with issues covering opposing tight ends. George Kittle's one of the best tight ends in the game when he's healthy. We saw what he did last week, all right? I mean, he had a great game last week, 6 for 6. 6 targets, 6 receptions against the Arizona Cardinals. So give me over 4.5 receptions for George Kittle.
We saw Juwan Johnson of the New Orleans Saints, who drops every ball, go off against the Carolina Panthers. So Kittle going over 56.5 yards receiving. I think he may end up being their number 1 option tonight.
Pivoting to the Panthers side, again, a 7.5-point underdog, so production going to be needed, maybe a chase game script, as our friends at FanDuel outline. Bryce Young, ball going to be in the air. Bryce Young, over-under, where do you like him?
No pick. I think he plays a clean game, doubles up on what he did last week. No interception tonight for Bryce Young.
I'm going over 7.5 rushing yards. I believe he will have to run the football, and I think he's better when he's doing so. 7.5 rushing yards, that's all we need to see from Bryce. Give me over.
Yeah, I mean, that's one front side blitz that gets home and
get out.
Flushed out the other way. We'll see if that one comes to pass. In terms of the pass, the ball goes to Tedoroa McMillan. How are we playing him?
Over 4.5 receptions. Who else are they throwing the football to? Musa Muhammad? No. Greg Olsen? No.
Steve Smith?
Patrick Jeffers?
No. He's been the main guy, and he's going to get force-fed targets, and he will come down with those said targets. So give me over 4.5 receptions.
Benjamin?
Yeah.
I'm a big Patrick Jeffers guy. Caught the ball in the snow. I'm going to say 13.5 going over in the first quarter for Ted McMillan. Get your big guy the ball early.
Keeps going to these first quarter
plays.
plays.
Trying to catch.
I will try and get us to the fourth quarter here so you don't have to hear as much from him. Tedoroa McMillan, been the biggest mouth to feed in that offensive attack from a passing standpoint. But the reason they are what they are right now, Emory, Rico Dowdle doing big things. I mean, one of the leading rushers in the NFL, despite the start of not having a start through the first 3 weeks. What's he look like tonight?
He's a Pro Bowler this year, in my opinion. I like his longest rush to go over 15.5 yards. I love the explosiveness he has, the vision, and he is 88 out the gate once he breaks contain.
I have Rico going under his rushing prop, 76 in the hook. The reason why, I think they might get behind. And if they get behind, they're going to have to throw the football. And they're going to take the football away from Rico Dowdle. So I think because of the track meet they're about to embark on, it's not going to be a running affair for Rico Dowdle. So give me under 76 in the hook.
It's a blast to watch football with these guys always. But when we get a nice card and something on both sides, a little bit of head-to-head, I know, on the game number in terms of some of these props. They are rooting for and against. As for a first touchdown score, this is the one we always look at, fellas. We run up to the green room to see if anybody can cash it early. First touchdown score, who touches paint?
I'm overdue. Plus
Certainly
950. Plus 950. Jawan Jennings.
Okay.
Enough said. Plus 950.
That was more than enough said.
He likes how much it's going to pay. I don't know if he believes it's going to happen.
That's what
it's
it was.
happening.
It was
Jawan Jennings.
Plus 700. I fully believe in George Kittle in getting into the end zone first. Either one of those. But we probably like 49ers to go first, too.
Taking pictures.
You going to play that?
Hey, you know, I had a feeling. We were sitting there.
I'm not doing what Emery did.
Niners
I
defense.
take my
Yeah, he did say that. That's
Niners
a big penny.
55-1. I just wanted as a matter of record here so we can flip it later for
I'm not doing what Emery.
Emery Hunt, Brian McFadden, thank you. As always, we got one more play coming. Everybody's best on the other side of a quick break. We put it all on the line in anticipation of your Week 12 finale.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount+.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic.
You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it? The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
It's so loud in here. Oh, man, this is awesome. The power. Oh, my goodness. What a performance.
Wouldn't take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown, new season now streaming on Paramount+.
You can't count on Derek's taunt skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+.
Oh, it's that time. Time to put it all on the line. One walk to the window for everybody's best. We begin as we always do. The sharpest man in sports, Todd Furman.
Thanks, Joe. And look, for me in a game like this, do I think the Carolina Panthers are alive? Absolutely. And if they're going to have success, I don't think it's going to be Tedero McMillan that is eating at the trough all game long against this 49ers defense, although there's a path. I think there's another more unheralded member of that receiving room that's got a path to success working primarily from the slot, and that'd be Jalen Coker, who sees his over-under for receiving yards sitting in the high 20s. Look, the 49ers pass defense has been absolutely abysmal. They don't generate pressure, and they really struggle against slot receivers. I think this is where Jalen Coker can have that breakout performance. We saw Bryce Young have a tremendous amount of success last week. I really believe he can carry some of that momentum forward. The biggest bugaboo in Bryce Young's short career so far in the NFL is when he's under duress. I don't see that happening tonight, so I think he can spread it around a little bit, and I'll take a guy that's flying under the radar, at least for me, Jalen Coker, to exceed odds makers' expectations and flirt with 35 to 40 receiving yards. B-Mac, look, I'm all about the little guy trying to get stuff done in the receiving room for Carolina. Where are you going with your all-on-the-line pick for Monday Night Football?
Yo, Todd, I'm taking a side. When you look at this line, I heard Pete Pisco talking about something that's fishy about this line being 7.5. Vegas is begging you to do what? Take the under. But I know Vegas. I figured them out. I'm taking the over. And when you look at this line being a bit large, they're telling all of us San Francisco will be in that deep bag, bringing out Thanksgiving dishes for 4 quarters. Brock Purdy is going to be looking very, very pretty. Throwing to CMC, throwing to George Kittle, throwing to Ricky Pearsall, might even throw to John Taylor if he puts on a uniform. They're going to be wheeling and dealing tonight, so give me the San Francisco 49ers covering the 7 in the hook. Emery, which first quarter prop bet are you taking for this ball game?
That is hilarious, but I love it we are going back-to-back because I am on the opposite side for all of the other reasons that this ball game is intriguing, because you have a Panthers team that just watched Tampa Bay open up the back door for them to have success. So give me Carolina plus 7.5. Expect a high-scoring game in Santa Clara, San Francisco, West Coast, whatever, yeah, San Jose. Kiana, what you have for us?
Well, B-Mac took my analogy earlier when I was trying to think of my pick, so I'm going to just emphasize it a little bit. When you break up with someone, say it was an applicable breakup, right? You want to prove it. You want to stick it to your ex, even though you moved on and you're happy. So no hard feelings, but Christian McCaffrey's going to want to show out. So that's why I'm taking him over 5.5 receptions. If we look at the numbers, the Panthers give up the 4th most receptions to running backs. Well, meanwhile, Christian McCaffrey has never had a game where he's had less than 6 targets, averaging 6.7 per game. You know what? Stick it to your ex, CMC. Run, CMC, run. I'm taking the over receptions. What you got, Joe?
All right, I just want to clear some things up first. It is Santa Clara. The Super Bowl is there.
Okay. Thank you.
It's
not that hard.
has not figured out Vegas. I've been there with him. In terms of tonight's matchup, I'm going where the omissions are. Down bad in the backer level for this Carolina defense. I'm going with George Kittle over his receiving yards, 56.5, and that one with some thought.
Woo!
I figured about tonight.
He just got his shirt back.
I do like all these plays, to be fair. Coker over his 27.5. That's a deep cut from Todd Furman, as they often are, but he finds you value always. Bryant McFadden laying the points. Emery Hunt going head-to-head, scooping up the 7.5. Kiana Martin, hell hath no fury like an ex-scorn. Christian McCaffrey over his receptions. I'm giving you Kittle over the yards. And that's going to do it for this edition of Primetime Pregame. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Join us right here at Zeros for full highlights and analysis of what could be a big statement from either side.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
You look tired.
You look tired.
Can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so stressed.
What's the plan here?
Landman, new season, streaming November 16th, only on Paramount+.
You need a hug?
You need a fist?
Crutch.
Crutch, you need anything. I do have one question. We didn't mean right now.
You talk to people, they don't see the badge. I talk to people, that's all they see.
I got worried you coming up here without an escort.
I can handle myself.
I'm going to spend the rest of my career protecting my father's mission. We don't quit.
Thank you.
That's what my dad would do.
Being on the road, I don't think it's a job. I think it's a calling.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
Needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League. Every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
Someone at this law firm knew they were fueling an epidemic. You come forward now, you're just a crazy old lady with no evidence.
You didn't see this coming, did you now?
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars. What a difference she has made.
The question is, can you handle it? It feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
It's so loud in here. Oh man, this is awesome. The power. Oh my goodness, what a performance.
Warden, take care of my brother Kyle, and I'll take care of you.
This is my castle now. Do we understand each other?
I want your friends to be mine.
Mayor of Kingstown. New season now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't count on Derek's tongue skills.
Oh, Tony, I think it hit the ground.
But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Kevin Stefanski announced that Shador Sanders will start on Sunday against the 49ers, even though Dylan Gabriel cleared concussion protocol. Sanders will get his second straight start. He threw for 209 yards, a touchdown, and an interception in a 24-10 win over the Raiders on Sunday. But here's what Stefanski had to say about the decision.
Shador will start this week. Obviously, number one job of a quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt. And then next thing is improvement. And that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. So that'll be our focus. Are there things that he can do better? Absolutely. We've already talked about that with him. He has the mentality that he will, make the adjustments to the speed of the game, make the adjustments to what people are giving us to make those improvements.
We're joined by CBS Sports NFL analyst Brian McFadden and Emory Hunt. As the Browns saw enough to let Shador take the reins another week, or at least want to see what they have for their future. But B, how does he build off of his first start now going into this game against the 49ers?
Well, continue to play with a lot of energy. That's what I love with Shador in the lineup. He improved the morale of the entire team. Just watching the sidelines while the offense was on the football field made me feel like they believe in Shador Sanders. So that's one thing, continue to build on that morale, but play with confidence. We saw some pretty good throws last week against the Raiders. Continue to build on those throws. Make the routine plays happen routinely. That's what we want to see from young quarterbacks in terms of the maturation process for them being in the starting lineup, and just make the right decisions. The only mishap I saw that was a big mishap, thrown into coverage, giving the Raiders a turnover. Granted, your defense bailed you out, but those are things you cannot allow to surface against a better opponent in the San Francisco 49ers. You had a great matchup in the Raiders. They're spiraling in the wrong direction. San Francisco, they're fighting for their playoff lives right now, and they're a much talented team, especially on the offensive end. But for the first start, the most important thing he did, he won the ball game. He was one of the reasons why they won. Continue to build on that, fine-tune some of the little things that I talked about. He should be okay.
I love that you said he was the reason why they won. If you look at the other two games they won this year, Joe Flacco was the quarterback when they beat Green Bay when they came back. The game against the Miami Dolphins with Dylan Gabriel was the starting quarterback. It wasn't about Dylan Gabriel. The defense scored in that one, and that's something that he also was able to benefit from because he didn't throw a touchdown in that ballgame. Shador actually threw a touchdown pass and got them in position to score a touchdown. So my biggest takeaway for him going into this, from last game to go into this game, you have to put points up on the board. Points add up, especially against a very good team in San Francisco. And what we didn't see from the Raiders that I was shocked that we didn't see a lot of was blitzes coming from the defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. So for San Francisco, Robert Saleh is going to make sure he sends pressure. Now, what we did see, the few times it did go with pressure, he made a quick decision to get out the pocket, and that's how he found Isaiah Bond deep down the field. That's how he found Jerry Jeudy. And if he's able to make the quick decision like that to where he's escaping toward the sideline, it helps him out. It doesn't help him go. It takes away his chances of dropping so far back and taking an unwanted sack.
Yeah, Shador Sanders may be looking to do something we haven't seen done for the Browns in quite a bit of time, and that's string together some wins. But meanwhile, Bengals, they anticipate Joe Burrow to return to the field on Thanksgiving night. That's against the Ravens. If you guys recall, he was activated off IR on Monday as he returns from a turf toe injury in week 2 that required surgery. Burrow practiced last week but was ultimately held out of Sunday's loss to the Patriots. Zach Taylor talked about what he expects to see on Thursday.
I anticipate him playing, but we'll continue to work through the week. I'm not going to declare that definitively. Work through the week, coming off an injury. He's done everything he could. He put himself in a position to do his best to play yesterday. And we'll continue with that mindset, but he looks like he's in good shape right now to be ready to go. Well, I mean, he's a great player, obviously, and so it's exciting to have him back. I think our energy's been really good. I don't feel like that's been an issue for us, and you see the way the team fought there till the very end, trying to get stops in all 3 phases and score points on offense. And so these guys fought tooth and nail, played with really good energy. But obviously, when you got one of the greatest players in the world coming back, that's another boost on top of that. And so, when we do get Joe back, it'll be exciting to watch him go out there and play. And I'm sure it's energy for everybody involved.
Good point. Energy for everyone involved when you have your signal caller in the fold. Cincinnati, though, still a 3-8 football team. They're facing off against a surging Ravens team. Burrow optimistically said everything is still there in front of them. So are you on board with him returning where we are right now when we look at this Bengals team, B?
I am. If you're Zach Taylor, you're trying to keep your job as safe as possible, right? And Joe Burrow gives you a great chance in winning, even though Joe Flacco has done more than a serviceable job filling in for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow can't make any tackles. Joe Burrow can't cover anyone. So will the defense improve? But for Zach Taylor, your star quarterback is cleared and ready to go. You allow him to get out there. And the last time we saw Joe Burrow against the Baltimore Ravens, he had a field day, right? He had an unbelievable game in 2 outings against Baltimore. Not to mention, if you have Joe Burrow coming back, guess who else is coming back? Jamar Chase as well. Right. So now you get 2 outstanding playmakers back in your offense to improve your chances to win this ball game against a divisional foe. And they're quite behind in terms of the win-loss column. But anything can happen in the blink of the eye, especially in the AFC North. So with them, if he's clear, put him out there. Let's see what he can do.
That's great. Does Joe Burrow play defensive tackle?
I literally just said that. You didn't hear my analysis?
He don't play nickelback, sandback, or strong side defense. None of this helps them against Baltimore, guys. I love that the offense is doing a great job, but, man, Burrow is Burrow. We appreciate that. But this is about their defense and their inability to stop somebody. And because Baltimore is playing their best ball right now, just like it looked last year.
Defensively, not offensively.
Defensively, they're playing their best ball. Now, let's extrapolate that defense that Baltimore plays against this offensive line. Does Burrow play guard or offensive tackle? He doesn't. So none of this helps Burrow or the Cincinnati Bengals. So I like that he's back out there, but I don't want to see him go out there and have another injury that sits him down for longer than he should be.
It's a beat-up team. Obviously, they have some holes. They have some voids they need to fill, especially when it comes to the health part. But they will have their starting quarterback as of now under the fold on Thanksgiving. But meanwhile, let's stick with the quarterback position because J.J. McCarthy, he is in concussion protocol after reporting symptoms to the Vikings training staff on the flight home from Green Bay. He struggled in the loss to the Packers, throwing for just 87 yards and 2 interceptions. If he is unable to go on Sunday against Seattle, undrafted rookie Mac Brosmer will get the start. But guys, it's already been a rocky first year for McCarthy and just his 6 games this season. Emery, what do you think the future holds for last year's 10th overall pick?
I think the future still can be there for him to have success in Minnesota. Unfortunately, what's going to happen, Brosmer's going to step into the ball game and look a lot better, but there's context involved to him looking better than what J.J. McCarthy looks like. And it's because Brosmer is a 6-year college guy, played at New Hampshire, played last year at Minnesota. Good, quick delivery. Footwork is everything that you want it to be. He has good velocity on his passes. So he'll throw the football. The operation will be a lot better and cleaner with this guy, despite him being an undrafted rookie. He looked good in the preseason. And with McCarthy, which you're banking on, his ace in the hole was his ability to be a winner and play winning football. But when you ask him to do different things off script, it gets ugly. It's sloppy. He's working from a deficit because he's coming back from injury. And he had to also try to win the job over in the minds of the fans and the media because of how Carson Wentz looked and how everybody else in that offense looked outside of him. Mm-hmm. So that's where he's pressing, he's stressing, but he's a young guy. I do think the future is still bright for him. even though it may look better with Brosmer at quarterback this Sunday.
If that happens, now you definitely have to be concerned, if that's the case. But in terms of this situation with J.J. McCarthy, he can't afford to miss more time. Now, I'm not saying he should try to fight through a concussion-like symptom. I'm not saying that. But just the bad end of the stick in terms of missing games. That has been an issue for him last year.
Yep. Right.
Then he played in the first game. He got hurt. Missed time. Carson Wentz comes to the fore, and now he's dealing with concussion-like symptoms coming off the heels of a horrible game. He only threw for 87 yards in 4 quarters. You had a healthy Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson. Now your offensive line has been bad, but yet and still, you got to deliver.
Yeah.
You got to deliver. So let's see how it plays out, but just so far it's been a rocky start for J.J. McCarthy, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, maybe this, I can't really call it his rookie season, but maybe those first season woes. Got to get over these humps that he's been struggling with so far this season. Guys, good stuff right there. Well, this is a list that you don't want to be a part of if you are J.J. McCarthy. He has thrown an interception in 6 straight games to begin his career. Yeah, B-Mac's having a hard time with that one. That's tied for the 3rd longest streak over the past 15 seasons, only trailing Blake Bortles and Zach Mettenberger. Turkey Day has us giving thanks. Thanks for a Thanksgiving slate featuring 2 postseason hopefuls looking to turn around their seasons en route to a playoff push. But who has the edge? We talk about it next.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
That is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
You think you understand how this business works, but you don't.
I now know why Monty was so strict.